The Absent-Minded Professor is a precursor to Flubber, and while Flubber holds a special place in my heart because I love Robin Williams, I was really keen to see what the 1961 film was like. It's a very well-respected Disney film, and I can completely understand why. So this was directed by Robert Stevenson and written by Bill Walsh with a story by Samuel W. Taylor. And Fred MacMurray plays our professor, Professor Ned Brainard, which is an absolutely brilliant name. And the description from IMDb, if you're not familiar with the story, is as follows. A college professor invents an anti-gravity substance which a corrupt businessman wants for himself. So it's on the surface, it's very similar to Flubber. I feel like this one's got a bit more of a magical aspect to it. I feel like it's more impossible. In terms of, I feel like the Flubber, in the film Flubber, could actually happen. Maybe I'm just over-enthusiastic, but I feel like it's a bit more realistic. But to be perfectly honest, it is very, very similar for the most part. And it involves a lot more people. There's obviously the iconic scene with the car, which I think is probably where the far-fetched aspect comes in. But that's also something that the remake embodies as well. So I'm not really sure why. I feel like the reason I feel like this is maybe slightly less believable is maybe just because of the age of the film, and obviously it feels more dated, so it feels like the technology wouldn't be possible, whereas even with Flubber, which was released in the 90s, I believe, there's just something about it that makes it feel like it could happen. But either way, the narrative is basically the same. And this professor kind of neglects everything to focus on this creation, this anti-gravity substance, and of course it gets him into a lot of trouble when people want this substance, but he also uses it to get himself out of trouble. And it's great fun. I think Professor Brainard is a brilliant character. He's very high energy, he's got a lot of enthusiasm. Some of his morals are a little bit questionable, but he's certainly very passionate about this Flubber, and it's great to see him taking it through the stages of inventing it and, you know, perfecting it and working out what this can be used for and working out what it can do and just how far he can take Flubber. I can't see anything wrong with this film. I think maybe if you're familiar with the Robin Williams version, you may not like this one as much as you could do, just because I do think in terms of the visual excitement, the intensity, I think the music's slightly better with the remake. And obviously, one of the key things is that Flubber, the film, is in colour, and the visual appearance of the green Flubber is very attractive, whereas this film's in black and white. But I don't think that detracts from the beauty of the film. You don't need to be able to see this fluorescent Flubber in order to enjoy its beauty and to think it's exciting, but certainly I think it helps. So if I were to compare the two films, I would definitely say Flubber is superior. But I think that's just because it's a product of a later time and had more technology at its disposal. The Absent-Minded Professor obviously has a fantastic narrative that's great fun for the whole family. It's silly, it's a little bit goofy. Brainard is a very likeable character for the most part. As I said, some of his decisions are a little bit questionable, but for the most part he's fun, he's exciting, and I really like watching him work. I think he's got a great enthusiasm, a really great passion. If you've seen the original Flubber, you definitely have to see this, just to see how it compares, to see where it came from, to see what Disney were doing with this concept in 1960s, because it is great fun. If you haven't seen Flubber, I would say maybe watch this one first and then watch Flubber, because I think that way, as I feel Flubber is slightly superior because of the technology available, you might enjoy this one more. Honestly, The Absent-Minded Professor is great fun. I haven't seen the sequel, which is The Son of Flubber. I feel like I should. I probably will. But for now, I'm pretty happy with The Absent-Minded Professor.